They don't pay me to dress up. They pay me to kick butt. We ain't say butt, but you know how that goes. You know how that goes when the show goes on. They don't pay me to dress up.
Wow, that's what we got on the show. That's what we got. I know you heard that. You heard that?
I did.
Please tell me you heard that. Yes. Yes.
It took me a minute
Yes,
to see that, and I was like, oh,
yes.
you got me. See, man.
And I know you heard that Zoom lady in the background, too.
Man, Zoom Lady late, man. I needed that hot tag from Zoom Lady, and she wasn't there at the corner, man. Left me by myself.
Zoom lady had a run in. I said,
Lady, man.
minute, stay back there. Don't just wait for you. Don't even gotta wait for your entrance. Just stay in the back, and I got you. We're gonna teach this man's a lesson. But I'm over here. You see me putting the headphones on over the crown?
See what man, being a cute card.
Hello, all, and welcome to the Heel Turn Podcast. I'm your host, Isaiah Jackson Jr. Devin Lee Crimes alongside me. Devin, how are you today?
I'm good. I'm just a little confused, but I'm good.
Well, confused? Why?
Cause you said Devin Crimes alongside me, and I'm like, ain't it? Y'all always alongside me, Devin Crimes. See, man, this man want to be a king. Is this y'all king?
Yeah, king? I'm the king because when our editor, who should not be named, what does it look like? The editor having to say, "Join alongside me," and then it says, "On the way to the ring." If you're alongside me, why are you on the way to the ring? I'd rather just wait and then say it. See this man. You gotta just look. Like you said, you. Do you.
That's right.
Let me do me.
I ain't worried
so let me do me.
About me.
Exactly. So since you worried about yourself, how are you doing today?
Me? I'm doing good. I'm doing pretty good.
That's good. Now that we got the confusion out the way. Now that all the confusion's out of there. Because there's no confusion at all with Tony Khan and Ring of Honor because he owns Ring of Honor. Does a little hand crouch that Mr. Man did. I bought WCW. But Tony Khan, he owns Ring of Honor now. This is huge. Ring of Honor about some months ago, probably 4 or 5 months ago, had their very last show before they went on hiatus. Because as awesome as a promotion there are, granted, I haven't seen much of them. I can't say I can speak for myself. I haven't seen much of Ring of Honor's work. I've seen bits and pieces, but when you see all the stuff that they did throughout the pandemic, paying the wrestlers money when they're back at home through these troubling times, and it's just turned out bad at the end to where they had not saying that they didn't have any type of funds, but financially it was a struggle. So they had to re-image, or as they said, reimagine themselves. And Tony Khan now has it in his hands. But Devin, there's another promotion that's trying to find their way. And it's EC3 and Adam Scherr, also known as Braun Strowman, having their promotion control your narrative. And it's sad to say because it's not, for the people being disrespectful, calling it a room full of WWE rejects and stuff like that. That's not what it is. It's pretty much people that have been spited, I guess you could say, by WWE, and that's coming through to control their narrative. People who have been pretty much crapped on through their character and through almost had their careers destroyed in WWE due to their booking. And this is them coming together and having their own little promotion. I guess that's disrespectful to say. Their own promotion. And so saying that, they just signed a deal on a new streaming network, Pro Wrestling TV. So they're going to be on an on-demand streaming app. Devin, how do you feel about this? Because now we're not having just AEW anymore. It's going to be control your narrative. We have Terminus. We have so many other promotions coming up, but control your narrative. Let's just stick to that real fast. How do you feel about that? What do you think of? How do you think it's going to be?
Honestly, I don't know how that's going to shake out. Obviously, they got the ball rolling with their streaming service, and I mean it's different because it's more like we're doing this for our perception, like how we've been perceived. We want to change that. Obviously, control your narrative. So I look at it like it's a company driven by a new, different type of motivational take in a way. So I mean, I'm not 100% feeling it, but at the same time, I won't shoot it down just yet. Could be nice, could not be, but it's something. And like I said, it's a different type of take in terms of like what is your company supposed to represent, your promotion supposed to represent.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Yeah, control your narrative is going to be a seasonal television approach. And so, in saying that it's going to be full cinematic wrestling features, it's going to be a whole lot. And from Adam Scherr himself, said the wrestling will be real, the stories will be real. We want to put the power back into the hands of wrestlers and create a place they can make a living.
I'm not finished with you.
Right, that's the thing. You can do that at AEW, right?
Probably really.
This is what AEW is about, right? The stories are real. Wrestling is real. You putting the power back in the hands of wrestlers, creating a place for them to make a living. AEW do that too, right? That sounds like AEW.
Hey, I guess they got something different though on that tray.
I don't know. It's just for them to call themselves like another spot to where you could control your narrative. Because I got some names of people that will be featured on here, and so these people, they include Matt Cardona, Zack Ryder. For those that don't know, you have Moose. Moose is on Impact. John Schuyler, Matt Seidel. Matt Seidel, for those that don't know, Evan Bourne, Marina Shafir, Weston Blake, Matt Tavern, and more. And the much anticipated debut of Killer Kross. We all know who Killer Kross, and those that don't know, Karrion Kross. So it's a bunch of people that have been crapped on, in the WWE system. And we know we can name a bunch of people that have been into a WWE system and have lost their careers, not lost their careers, that have their careers in short because of how they've been booked or how they were treated by WWE. So having this promotion is cool and all, but as soon as you start getting a crap load of people, just like AEW, getting a crap load of people, then you're not gonna start seeing a lot of people. Then somebody gonna get frustrated, so then they won't be able to control their narrative. But so I see a lot of problems going into that. I mean, that's how I see it. That's you want to run this successful promotion, you want to be different than everybody else. You're saying the same thing AEW said 3 years ago. So that's how I see it. Control your narrative. I'm not trying to crap on the whole promotion because I do want to see how they'll be. I'm not a Braun Strowman fan. I'm not an Adam Scherr fan. I'm not a EC3 fan. But I do want to see great wrestling. I do want to see good wrestling. I want to see alternative wrestling. So good luck to you guys.
I second that.
Yes, exactly. I hope you second Pat McAfee getting a WrestleMania match. Now, before we get into that, Vince McMahon, it was on the Pat McAfee show, and he had a bunch of things to say, and it was just weird. They talked about so much from the WWE Network to the feedback he gets from wrestling. Devin, I have a quote from Vince McMahon. We're gonna go over some Vince McMahon quotes real fast. And I just want your opinion. I want you to read through the lines. Devin, you taking literature before. You had a communication class, right?
I sure did.
Right. Let's dissect this. Let's go back to school. Okay, I don't know about that, but let's look at these Vince McMahon. Let's look at these Vince McMahon quotes. So at one of them, Pat McAfee asked him how does he receive feedback, and Vince McMahon said he doesn't listen to praise or negative feedback. He said he's not about getting patted on the back or getting thank yous. He said if you listen to positive feedback, then you're listening to the negatives. And he doesn't do that. And he says you can't change what the media is going to say about you. So you just can't care. Devin, knowing how wrestling is now, how do you feel about that?
I mean, it explains a lot.
Right.
It's just like, okay, like all this stuff we be talking about, like I just don't listen to none of it because whether it's good or bad, I just ain't gonna hear it. Like, how we supposed to tell you what we like?
Right, exactly. This is actually a huge one on this one because they were talking about the change to sports entertainment. Vince McMahon said he wanted to separate his company from everybody else, and he compared it to his dad, establishing his own brand, outside of the NWA. And then he said that if his father knew what he was going to do to the company, he would have never sold it to him. If Vince McMahon Sr. would have found out that his son was going to change it to sports entertainment, pretty much if Vince McMahon's dad saw what was going on now, he probably would have strangled his son. Devin, what do you think of? That's a big statement. I mean, that's a big statement to me. Like, what do you think about that?
Well, I mean, there's nothing. I look at it where if he's looking at it like, well, let me, everybody else wants to do this, type of thing in wrestling. Let me do something different. I don't want to be like everybody else. That approach, it's always risky, but I can agree. I can agree with that. Like, why not be different? I mean, don't be too different, obviously. But yeah, that is pretty well. Like, looking like, oh, if his dad seen that, he probably go, that's not what I wanted. But I mean, it's grew to a success though. It's a global thing.
But look at it. But look at it through this. Look at it through these eyes. Think about everything we've watched growing up as a kid. Like, think about everybody. Think about Paul. We're not gonna do the back in my day segment just yet. But think about the Paul Heyman promo. You got rid of every single competition. Talk about the different territories. You got rid of everybody in the territories. It's just to have your own big televised brand of sports entertainment. Vince McMahon literally changed the game of wrestling. You could watch a wrestling match from Smoky Mountain, from the NWA, from Florida wrestling. You can watch wrestling from anywhere, and it'll be from the 80s to the 90s. It's totally different. But Vincent Kennedy McMahon Jr. switched it around. We're gonna make this sports entertainment. We're gonna have fireworks in the intros. We're gonna have Vincent McMahon changed up the wrestling game. It's to think that if his father knew what he was done, like, he would be shunned, or he would be just frowned upon. This is pretty much, you could say that just think about it. Our enjoyment of wrestling is because Vince McMahon took an insane risk and took pretty much everybody out of business. He hired a couple of them, but took a crap load of people out of business for art. Can you just imagine? Isn't that crazy to you?
Oh yeah.
Can't you think about that's like a butterfly effect to me?
Yeah, that's like yeah. You make one man had an idea and it just springboarded to everything we see now and have seen. That's where, I mean, like I said, you said it's a risk, but I'm like, look at what we got. We got these big, extravagant, like, WrestleManias. Like, we get all excited every, March road to WrestleMania. Like, some other promotions probably would have had something like that. Like, that's how he made it to be a spectacle. Like, it's still wrestling, but it's like, now it's bigger than that. There's many more avenues that's going to the same destination of wrestling.
Exactly. Think about how this is, like, think of the way this is now. We have AEW, WWE. Granted, we have all these other places, but not a lot of places are gonna give you that big time money. They give you that big time of that showtime, that airtime, as WWE and AEW is. And then you go back to look at the territories. Me and you are from Indiana. For us to go, we gotta. Oh man, there's a wrestling event coming on. We gotta go to Indianapolis real fast. Oh dang, we're in the Midwest, so our territory will be in the Midwest. So for us to watch wrestling, we got to bounce to Indiana. We got to bounce to Kentucky, probably Missouri, wrestling places like there. And then the West Coast, the East Coast, you got people going to Florida. You got New York wrestling, all them over there. If we want to see some unique wrestling, bro, we got to go to New York, bro. We got to watch this New York style wrestling. We got to watch Florida style wrestling. Instead, now we have one single style of wrestling. It's just crazy to me. Also, I don't mean to go on a tangent. I just think that's just a huge. But if what would it have been if Vince McMahon didn't do all that? And to know that his dad would have hated him for it is weird. It's crazy.
It's definitely a flashpoint moment.
Yes, huge flashpoint moment. I didn't mean to go nerd out on that, but another topic that came up was WWE releases. So Pat McAfee, he talked about seeing guys getting cut, from the NFL, and he kind of trying to compare it to the WWE. And Vince McMahon said that taking the company public kind of helped him be a better businessman. So he was making decisions with his heart. But when you're responsible to other people, to like stockholders, you have to make a decision on what's best for the business. So in saying that, he stopped thinking with his heart. He was like, I like money. We gotta make this money. Eventually.
Start thinking with them pockets.
Exactly. And Devin, is that really a shock to you?
No. Not at all. Especially when he, pinpointed like, once we went public, the whole mindset changed. Like now we're like a traded company. So now we gotta start making decisions based on what is gonna keep us afloat, the next future years. Which like you said, like he said, like, it's nothing like personal, it's just business now. Like, I used to think with my heart, but now I got other people, investors and things like that in mind. Gotta do what's best for business. And sometimes what's best for business isn't always best for personal wise. I know I sound really like flat about it, like, what's best for business isn't always gonna be the great.
Nah, I mean, it makes sense. Once and what he's doing is best for the sometimes. Getting rid of all these huge name people, and including a bunch of people that didn't even get a chance at all, and you're just throwing them out in bulk, is just ridiculous. And he talked about performers in WWE learning how to treat people because they have to work. He's pretty much talked about how the performers both need to entertain and to be safe, which is always been the number one thing for WWE. At least you never hear wrestlers, going off script trying to kill each other. That's not WWE style at all. AEW's only been here 3 years and we already have people going off script, like getting irritated with each other. So stuff like that is bound to happen, but WWE always usually plays it safe. But skipping to all the way at the end, Pat McAfee says that he wants a match at WrestleMania. Not that he says he wants a match, but Vince McMahon is granting him a match at WrestleMania, and he's going to give him a worthy opponent. Devin, how do you feel about Pat McAfee getting a match at WrestleMania, and who do you think his opponent will be?
Personally, I don't really like that, because, I mean, no offense to Pat McAfee, I love him as a commentator, but he is a commentator in WWE. He behind the table. Why is he guaranteed a match by Vince McMahon at WrestleMania? When you got people like Kevin Owens, you may not even go to, I know I get for them, it's part of a story, but still, like, I get it, I guess all, for what they're trying to do with Pat and maybe Vince, but it's just to hear like, oh, you're gonna have a match. Like, what? Who is, I mean, I know who he is, but who is he in terms of WrestleMania? Like, that's like, oh, Jim Ross, you're gonna have a match. Like, which he did, but it was stupid. See, like, I ain't feeling it. I ain't feeling how it came about.
Did you see his match with Adam Cole?
I see a little bit of it. I just like, look, my thing is, I just hate when they make it seem like, oh, they got this whole thing built around like, oh, superstar, they may not make it to WrestleMania, but like now he about to be. He only had what was that, one match with Adam Cole?
He had one match with Adam Cole, and he had a War Games match.
Yeah, War Games. That still ain't enough to be just, oh, you're going to WrestleMania. Like, he already going to be there. He a commentator. Like, I don't know. I
don't know. Michael Cole and Jerry Lawler had a match.
And it was stupid. That's what I'm saying. They had no match.
Pat McAfee's more athletic. Who do you think will be his opponent?
I'm not sure. I mean, granted, like you just said, he'll put on a better match than Michael Cole and Jerry Lawler did. Because Michael Cole was Michael Cole and Jerry Lawler was years after he was, wrestling. But who his opponent will be, they may just end up having, because Austin Theory was all like, ooh, if somebody do something to you, I'll do that. I got my hands ready. So he may go, Austin, get him, That's what I'm thinking. That
was my guess. My guess was Austin Theory. It ain't going to be no Cody Rhodes. Like, Cody Rhodes ain't finna pop out of nowhere. Like,
not for that.
Not for Vince. Not for Vince. That's the biggest thing.
I'll go right back to All Elite.
But I think Austin Theory, exactly. No, he ain't going all the way. He going to Ring of Honor. He gonna get signed to Ring of Honor. That's gonna be Cody Rhodes' go-to.
Anyway, but we're going against Pat McAfee at WrestleMania.
I don't know. He might need to control his narrative. We might see him pop over there. But I think Austin Theory is gonna take in place of the Pat McAfee match, and I think it'll be, if it's them two, I wouldn't have a problem, because Pat McAfee. Looking at his training regimen and watching him in the Adam Cole match in the War Games, seeing him put in the work, I'm like, you know what, you're athletic. And hearing him talk trash, he's talking foolish. He doesn't pull punches. I heard Michael Cole talk about, I forgot what they said, but Pat McAfee asked a question, and Michael Cole was like, well, Oh, he was like Pat McAfee was like, how can this guy do that? It was some. I think Drew McIntyre did something athletic. He was like, how did he do that? And he was like, well, he's a professional athlete, Pat. And Pat was like, oh yeah, I forgot. I'm just retired athlete and famous. You know, I'm just a rich retired famous athlete. Like that's Pat McAfee got lip. Like he could talk that talk. So
yeah,
I don't mind him having a match, especially since he's mobile. He's not Goldberg. I can see him doing a couple more moves. I'd rather see him than Goldberg, or I'd rather see him than Stone Cold, to be honest. I don't want to see Stone Cold wrestle at all. Pat McAfee, I can be guaranteed a 10-minute match. Stone Cold, I'm probably guaranteed a couple stunners.
This is true. I still don't like it.
I know I don't like him either, but
because Vince could at least said I'll give you a match at SummerSlam, but WrestleMania, I don't know. There's levels to this.
There is an overhaul of celebrities. You know, Johnny Knoxville has a match going in. Ronda Rousey got a match.
Yeah, it's just becoming a whole celebrity mania. Like it's just imagine like just being in the locker room. Like this is your job, and people just coming in here having fun, doing your job, having fun. They finna be gone after WrestleMania. We're not gonna see.
Maybe they need to control their narrative. I'm saying, see, they gotta call up Adam Scherr, man. I'm saying,
this man gonna have the whole WWE locker room controlling their narrative.
I'm saying this is what you got to do. According to Adam Scherr, this is what you have to do. But Devin, I have a problem. Uh-oh. Usually when I start this, it's not a good sign. My blood pressure gonna rise. We have a new trope in wrestling. Usually, security. For those that don't know, security is usually indie wrestlers that are there to get beat up. Usually they sit there. They're either there to hold off two wrestlers or pull two wrestlers apart from each other, or they're there for one wrestler to get away and to hide behind the security while the other wrestlers just beat them up. Unfortunately, Devin, in AEW, at least on my side, I want to say this and then you can explain WWE and then how you feel about it. But AEW has this thing where two weeks in a row. Last week, Brody King and Aleister Black were fighting. And they wanted to attack. They were attacking Penta. And the security came out. But before the security came out, Brody King got out the ring and just started. Before security even got to the ring, they were running towards the ramp. Brody King just got out the ring and just started beating up security. One man just started beating up every single security guard running his way. While Aleister Black is still murdering a man in the middle of the ring. Last week, you had Adam Cole and the Red Dragon fighting the Dark Order, it's pretty much Adam Page and his group, but Adam Page and Dark Order. Red Dragon, before security ran in, got to the ring. Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish already took him out. Got rid of security. Security can't even get to the ring. While the heel is in there killing the babyface. It's still out there killing the man in the ring. I feel like, isn't that overkill? Isn't that like tag team matches? Isn't that against the rules? Like it should be some type of, if you're gonna fight, security is there to break everything up and to like calm everything down. If security runs in, you're just going killing everybody, and then we see you guys next week. Like, what? Shouldn't you guys be fired? Security's supposed to be there to protect somebody. You just kill security. Now you're just killing this guy in the ring. And Tony Khan's just like, yeah, wrestling. You gotta love it, right? Like, what's next? MJF, just choke out CM Punk over there. I don't care.
No security gonna come.
Yeah, no security gonna come at all. No security came. Darby Allin and Sting came as soon as CM Punk was close to death. Like, so it didn't really matter. So, Devin, because I know Brock Lesnar had a similar security experience. So, I just want to get your take. How do you feel about this new trope with security guards and them getting beat up before they can even freaking make it on TV?
It's gonna be something you can just see right through it. Like, security, like they just finna get manhandled and that's it. Like, what's the point? But yeah, it's foolish because it's just like, what would be it doesn't make any canonical reason. Like, I'll do this and the security be out here. But any other time, I could be killing this man, choking him, and nobody's coming out here to stop me. You know, so it's like if you're not gonna use it all the time, I don't want you to use it all the time. Cause I get tired of seeing them. Like, all right, dang, like somebody just need to go to jail after that. Then like you keep calling security. But no, I agree. It's ridiculous because I mean it gives them the indie people something to be on TV. I mean obviously you're gonna be on TV to get thrown around and kicked down or whatever. But no, it's ridiculous in my opinion.
It is. You see, Roman, even on SmackDown, Roman, they had the security guards in the ring, and Roman even was talking about they was having a security guard there for the contract signing, to protect Brock from Roman and to stop Brock's not stop Brock's urges, but to what's the word? Him down to restrict him, so he cash out.
It's impulsiveness.
Right, impulsiveness. Guys, see, you let me struggle, then say impulsive. Right when I see this man.
I was just sitting there holding this like impulsive.
He just staring at me, like he just staring at me. Struggle. Yeah, that's right. Struggle. Like he's like, you gonna talk about my communication skills earlier.
And no security came out to help you. See,
exactly. No security ever. Think about it, Devin. You're in the ring with. You're in the ring with. I'm trying to think of this big tag team like. You're in the ring with the Brothers of Destruction. You laid out. Undertaker staring at you from down low. You look over, you like, dang, here comes security to help. Kane literally just rolls out the ring, murders all the security guards, and you just sitting there with the Undertaker still.
Oh, I started crying.
And yeah, what's the what are you gaining from this? And then you get hit with 5 tombstones and John Cena come out. Like, bro, it's too late.
Because you would think, in a logical sense, like if that did happen, like them guys should be gone. Like you obviously not supposed to be doing what you're doing, which is why we call security to come out. Now you done wiped out security. About to call National Guard or something. Like, it's just like
I feel like Kane, not Kane. Maybe Kane. Maybe throwback Kane, Brock Lesnar, possibly the Undertaker, not now Undertaker, but Undertaker back then.
Throwback Kane.
I'm trying to think of somebody else. I feel like those are like the 3. Keith Lee. I'll probably throw Keith Lee in there. Those are possibly the only people I can think of right now that can beat up security by themselves. If they did that right now, I'd be like, okay, like this makes sense. Having Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish 2-on-8, come on now, we're not gonna do that.
No, yeah.
Having even Brock Lesnar's a big, huge dude. If 7 people are jumping him and he beat them all at once, I wouldn't be shocked because that's what he do. Kyle O'Reilly don't do that. I'm sorry. Kyle O'Reilly, my weight. He'll do that to me. I ain't gonna lie. Kyle O'Reilly will definitely do that.
But would he do that to 8 of you?
But he would exactly. Would he do that to 8 of me? And I'll tell you this, Kyle, you ain't gonna do that. So once I get this clone machine set up, it's gonna be rounds. It's gonna be rounds. You ain't taking 8 of me. You probably take 5, but you gotta work on them other 3.
Exactly. See, it's flawed all around. Like you got people that shouldn't be doing it, and as soon as I see security, I just care less. I'm like, they finna get mowed down anyway.
And that kind of escapes the point of security. If you go say, Devin, if that's the case, just imagine wrestling is. Just imagine we're in kayfabe right now. Vince McMahon, you get a call from Vince McMahon. Hey, I need you to work security, pal, for Monday Night Raw. Devin, are you working security?
No,
not knowing that wrestling is what wrestling is now. Like,
still no.
Isn't that like if they ask me to be security, I'm gonna be like, wait, who wrestling tonight? Brock Lesnar? Oh, so you want me to be security for Brock? Is it Brock Lesnar his own security? Is it Roman Reigns his own security? Who am I? If anything, they need to be securing me. Y'all need to help me out.
Help me, yeah, exactly.
Like they having these.
Anything can happen. As soon as I see somebody holding a chair, I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I don't need the money.
They have these little Mickey security guards.
Yeah, and
that are our height, that are our weight class, that look like us, normal human beings. Protecting Brock Lesnar. Protecting Roman Reigns. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
When you bigger than your bodyguard, like.
Exactly. Imagine Devin. Just imagine the 5'5" wonder. Just imagine somebody's like, "Hey man, I got this bodyguard for you. This man cold. I swear to you. This man about 5'7". He weigh about 155.
See what I'm saying?
He don't even got a six-pack. He just skinny. In the words of Jim Cornette, that man can turn sideways and stick his tongue out. He would look like a zipper. That is the coldest thing I ever heard in my life. You see? That is the coldest thing I've ever heard. He said that man was so skinny he could turn sideways and stick his tongue out. He looked like a zipper. That is
Why did it make me want to draw a picture?
That is like funny. Okay. That is funny. If you're a wrestling fan and you like listening to elderly people talk about wrestling, listen to Jim Cornette. Like just listen to Jim Cornette. Oh like that dude is hilarious. If you want to listen to new age stuff, we got YouTube, we got Wrestle Talk, What Culture, you have all that. But all that for your wrestling needs. But Devin, I want to know what happened back in your day in WWE or wrestling history.
Back in my day, I didn't mean to like stutter on that. It was an accident. Back in my day, I remember watching a good old episode of Monday Night Raw, and it was during like the little DX McMahon feud, it was pretty funny at times. But for this particular night, we had Vince McMahon's theme come on, and we talked about Vince earlier. See, and I just remember like seeing. I'm like, why Vince looks so like why is he standing like with a wide stance? Like I know he be trying to like impose his force on us, but why he overdoing it? And I start seeing on Walt, and I just never forget realizing that it was Triple H, and he said some stuff I'm not gonna say, but it was pushing the limit of what they could say now. Put it that way. He had all the Vince McMahon like what I'm gonna call mannerisms and trying to imitate his voice, and then Shawn came out, or Shane actually, I spoiled it already, and I'll just never forget, as horrible as it was, just looking back, like Shawn doing like the dance that Shane does, skipping around, and Triple H or Vince going, "Stop it!" and he just falls. I'll never forget that. Me, as a kid, I was like, oh, this is the funniest stuff. Like, see, that's why I'm like, we wouldn't have got that stuff if we just wrestling. Like, I mean, I love professional wrestling, but I'm like, I also do love, like, just memories like that. Like, sometimes people irritate me, and I just want to go, "Stop it!" and I just fall down. I'm like, see, thank you, Vince. Or Triple H, I should say.
Or Triple H.
Do you remember that? Man,
that was prime, like, because back in the day, like 1990s, you had D-Generation X, you make the rules and we will break them. Right? You had that beginning. We didn't have that at the time. And at least when we were at least in the womb, or at least coming out the womb when all that was going through. We had the PG DX. Because and I think I remember that was at the time when Vince McMahon came out and he was like, "Oh, you guys thought that was funny." He came out with a bat and Spirit Squad came out, and then they was like, "We think you're just you're full of crap," and then they got poured with a bunch of fecal matter. Like it was wild.
They just did the craziest stuff. Like I hate to go from one moment to another, but just it's related to the same feud. But I never forget when they was in the production truck messing with his voice, and he was like,
"Yeah,
you people think this is funny?" I need a soundbite for that.
I need a soundbite. He said, "Do that. You gonna do that. Put that in there. I demand it.
Do it now." I'm gonna go back to like Triple H.
Yeah, you gonna have me see. Devin gonna catch me in that production truck.
But they was funny for like Monday Night Raw, like this DX versus Vince McMahon. The way they just found ways to just irritate that man.
They got on that man's last nerves. And we talked about Shawn Michaels. We in the dream. I forgot what dream match we was talking about. Shawn Michaels getting thrown up in the air by Spirit Squad. That was their finishing move. And it's just like, just all of that together. It was just ridiculous. Like, man, you just laughing so hard at Shawn just getting thrown up in the air.
Because I was trying to argue for him, and you were like, "Shawn ain't gonna do nothing." Last time I seen him, he was getting thrown up in the air by the Spirit Squad, and then, like I just flashed back looking at it on my little standard definition TV when I was a young boy, and just
When I was a young boy,
it was just the craziest stuff I had ever seen.
it was the weird. Like I was just like, where is this coming from?
It's like watching a
Why are
cartoon.
these cheerleaders throwing up Shawn Michaels up in the air and pinning them for a 3 count? I'm like, what is going on? Where's Triple H at?
See,
But
wrestling was crazy,
Devin-
but I think we turned that okay.
Yeah, for the most part. Now we're here just talking about it. Now we're here just giving our opinions on it. But Devin, is there anything you want to say before we close the show?
Man, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, I will make this quick, and I say that every week. So I'm hoping maybe I am keeping my promises. I try my best. I'm hoping I'm sounding pretty nice and clear out here, cause your boy got a new mic. Trying to move up out here, upgrading as always, just like the Hill Turn is. Don't know about some other people, but your boys always got you. We got our NXT reviews. We got our AEW reviews. We got our Brittany Brooks interview that y'all need to check out ASAP. If you haven't done it, you missing out. And I was going to keep it short, and I'll keep my promises. So that's all from me. I'm going to hand it back to my co-host.
A quick question.
Yes, sir.
Before we gas this person up to the fullest extent, the Brittany Brooks interview, how was it?
It was fun. It was great. It was really like just crazy knowing like seeing all the stuff she's done. And I'm like, you just have so much like more to even go, and you've already done so much. Like it just changed me. I was like, the heck I'm doing. Like, no, it was a huge eye opener.
Yeah, for those that are just tuning in on the Wild 110, Brittany Brooks was in the earliest episode. We're gonna have her in the beginning of the show. Amazing interview. We interviewed her before we even knew her age. And so we're thinking she's 22, 23, and she's telling us about all her accomplishments, everything she's done, and she's only 17. Like that made us go from me and Devin talked about this after the show. He was like, that made us go from okay, she's really good in the ring, like she's gonna be a good one, to she's just getting started. Like this is just the beginning that we're seeing. Like she's gonna do amazing things. So please check out for that. It's gonna be on Apple Podcast, and Spotify, SoundCloud. And in the beginning of the show, Wild 110. So thank you so much for listening. Before we let this out, me and Devin will also have a show. We're gonna go live on Sunday, but I will have the Revolution review. I gotta come through with that. I didn't do that on Wednesday, so I gotta come through with the Revolution review. Look out for that soon. Devin, I want to ask you on live. I'll have to bust you out because Roadblock is next week. Do you think Roadblock is a pay-per-view for you to review, for you to give out a review? Or do you think Stand and Deliver is where you're going to give it out?
I believe Stand and Deliver will be the higher caliber show. No offense to Roadblock, but I think Stand and Deliver is going to have something more in store for me to review for you all.
I mean, totally forgot. Either way, we're going to review it regardless. But
Yeah, I'm just saying.
It's just like, no, it's just like, we're going to have to, I just didn't think about it. I was like, I'm saying this, like, either you're going to not review it or you're going to. Like, it's like, but either way, we're going to have to regardless. But like, instead, so what we meant to say was, instead of Devin having the Roadblocks review on Saturday along with the Revolution review, he's going to have it on the regular Wednesday, excuse me. And then I will have the regular review for AEW on Thursday along with the Revolution results. You know what? Screw that. I'll do the Revolution results a little afterwards. I'll do a little special song. Do a little special something for you guys.
Either way, peeps, y'all gonna get it.
Exactly. Always gonna get it. Thank you.
One way over another. Oh, okay, I'm done.
It's good. You done? I'm done too. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you guys.